I've come to a house in central Srinagar, and I'm in the home of Asiya Andrabi, who is a leading figure in Dukhtaran-e-Millat. Now, how would I translate that into English, Asiya? What would the name of your organisation be translated into
It's
English?
Daughters of Faith.
Daughters of Faith.
Yeah.
And I think I should mention to our listeners, because they can't see, that you're wearing the burqa, the full Islamic veil, which I think you wear all the time when you're in public. Is that right?
Yes, always. I used to wear this.
Let me ask you first of all, the struggle here, and I should explain because our listeners will be able to hear that you've got your 1-year-old son in your lap, who is going to contribute, I can tell, to the discussion. Let me ask you first of all, we hear conflicting views in Kashmir about whether the struggle here is a political struggle or a religious struggle. What's your view?
Actually, this struggle is purely an Islamic struggle. This is the religious struggle, we call it as. Because as far as Islam is concerned, Islam is its complete entire way of life. So as far as politics is concerned, it's also the part of the Islam. That politics which is actually based on the principles of the Islam, because Islam also teaches us the politics. So the politics, present politics, which we visualize these days, that is a politics which is I don't call that as a politics. We call it as a hypocrisy. But the politics which Islam has taught us, we believe in that politics, and that is the part of the Islam. So this present struggle also, we want to ensure everyone that this is the issue based on the religious basis. So this is the religious issue also.
But when I speak to the Mirwais, the Muslim chief priest here, who is also a leading figure in the Separatist Alliance, the Hurriyat Conference, he says very clearly, very loudly, that this struggle is a political struggle, not a religious struggle.
Who?
Mirwais Umar Farooq.
You call him as a religious figure. I don't think he's an authority in the religion. He is a Mirwais because his father was Mirwais.
But he's the chief priest.
He is, but he doesn't have any religious authority here because he's not a alim, we call as. To whom you call a priest. In Islam we call him as an alim. Alim is who is a well-known scholar of the Islam. He is no more a scholar of the Islam. He is a traditional Mufti, you call him. As he is, not Mufti, but Mirwais. Mirwais was his father, and when he was just matriculated at that time, he was called as Mirwais. But we don't call him that he's an authority of the Islam.
Do you believe it is right for Kashmiris to engage in not simply a struggle, but an armed struggle for self-determination?
As far as our organizational viewpoint is concerned, and my strong belief is this, that Kashmir will get liberated, inshallah, by the armed struggle only. Because as far as the politics is concerned here, and especially the political leadership here, it's quite clear that the way those political leaders are working and all that, Kashmir will never get free from India.
So you support...
And I'm sure that, inshallah, whenever Kashmir will get free, that will get free by the armed struggle only.
So you support the killing of Indian police, Indian soldiers?
Not only the police, but all the Indian politicians too. We support that.
One of the militant groups, Lashkar-e-Taiba, recently made a threat to kill the Indian Prime Minister.
We'll be happy, inshallah.
You would be happy if that happened?
Yes.
How can that help to bring peace to Kashmir?
Actually, the peace is one thing that, as far as our struggle is concerned, we have sacrificed 80,000 people now. 80,000 people have been martyred. So, the peace which Vajpayee is talking about, or some leaders also, we call that peace movement as that they are sabotaging this ongoing movement. We want only that peace when Kashmir will get free from India. For this purpose, we are ready to sacrifice not only 80,000 people. If 1 lakh people will also they will also be martyred. That's better for this, that inshallah, when we will get freedom, that freedom struggle is much more important than this peace, about which peace they are talking at this time.
But what's your dream for Kashmir? You say freedom. What does freedom mean? Does it mean independence? Does it mean becoming part of Pakistan?
Part of Pakistan, yes.
Part of Pakistan.
Yes.
But Pakistan
Freedom
is not,
from the India, we call.
But Pakistan is not a democracy. It has a military government. It has a great deal of tension between Sunnis and Shias. It is not a very prosperous country. Some would say it's not a very pluralist country. Why do you want to be part of such a country?
No, actually, if there would have been democracy also, we don't support that democracy also. We believe in the Islamic regime only. And in Pakistan, we believe that from 1947 till date, there was never an Islamic government in the Pakistan. But as far as Pakistan is concerned, that's the Muslim country. So we want to get merged with that Muslim country. We want to get united with our Muslim brotherhood. So when inshallah we'll get free from the India and will be part of the Pakistan, then it will be our first and foremost duty to Islamize the Pakistan then.
And what would you do about India? What would you do about relations with India? Would you want to continue a jihad, a holy war against India on behalf of, after Kashmir becomes part of Pakistan?
No way.
Because there are Muslims left in India.
Though this is their duty. Let them fight against the India.
But
At this time also we are always we used to tell them that be ready for the jihad against the Indian regime, because in India there is purely the Brahman imperialism, and they want to demolish all the mosques and all that. As you might have heard that Advani's recent, when he in the court, when he delivered a speech, he told that we are going to change this Babri Masjid into a temple, and it was a temple.
But there are tens of thousands of mosques in India. One has been demolished.
But only one has been demolished. There are hundreds of the mosques which have been locked, and where people are not allowed to offer the prayers and all that, and they are that Mathura, Kashi, वगैरह, and they are in the agenda of the BJP.
You're wearing, as I said, the full black Islamic veil, the burqa, which is not very much seen here in Srinagar. Some people would say that your organisation has a view of women's place which conflicts with traditional Kashmiri culture.
No, I oppose the Kashmiri traditional culture.
You oppose Kashmiri traditional culture?
Yes, but we are in favor of Islamic culture. This is no more the sign of the Kashmiri culture, this burqa. This is the sign of the Islamic culture. And we don't believe in Kashmiriyat and Kashmiri traditions. We believe in Islam.
So all the
this is something we want to return our women to the Islamic culture.
But all the things which are associated with Kashmiri cultures, a very Sufi style of Islam, a mystical style of Islam, the distinctive mosque architecture, the use of the Kashmiri language, a generally tolerant view, you're saying all of this you're opposed to?
No, I am not opposed to all this, but I am telling you that some traditions, which Kashmiri traditions, they are not as they don't. All the Kashmiri traditions are Islamic traditions. They are not They don't have any comparison with the Islamic culture. So we want to Islamize the Kashmir also.
But do you want all non-Muslims, not that there are many left, but all non-Muslims to leave the Kashmir Valley?
No, why? Why should they leave? It's their land also. Nobody is telling them to leave the Kashmir.
But do you want all Kashmiri women to be forced to wear the burqa?
No. Why? We are not forcing them, but we want to preach the Islam. We want to motivate them for this, that wear the burqa, whether this burqa or that hijab only, scarf and abaya. These are the two thoughts in the Islam, that one can wear this or they can wear at least that loose dress with a scarf.
So they cover their heads, but they haven't got to cover their face as you're doing?
No, that's not necessary.
There's another question which I've now forgotten. Where do you look to for your source of political and spiritual inspiration? Do you look towards Iran or Afghanistan or Saudi Arabia, or is there any particular school of thought which you find gives you inspiration?
My organization, we get the inspiration from our Holy Quran. I don't think there is anywhere the purely Islamic regime at this time.
Do you have sympathy with the Taliban in Kabul?
Yes, we have the sympathy with them. I think we have very much sympathy with them, especially as they have been totally isolated from the whole world. As 90% of the Afghanistan is governed by the Taliban, but nobody is ready to recognize them even. I'm sure that if only 40% of the Afghanistan would have been in the control of the secular persons, it would have been, I think, the 100% Muslim countries especially and all the Western world, they would have recognized them. But this is the shock and this is the tragedy that it is governed by an Muslim Taliban. That's why they are not being recognized.
Asiya Andrabi, thank you very much for talking to us. Thank you also to your 1-year-old son, Ahmed, who has also been involved in our conversation. Thank you for inviting us to your home here.
Thank you very much. This is not my home. I don't have any home here in Kashmir.
You say you don't have any home. What do you mean by that? You are working underground?
Virtually I'm underground because my ancestral home, which was my father's house, that too has been, that was in 1990 we locked that house and nobody is in that now.
So
and because they used to raid our houses oftenly. And now then I get married in 1990. After getting married, my husband too was a mujahid.
A militant?
Mujahid we call them, yes. So then in 1993 he was arrested and after 7 years he has been released. And now we are roaming from here and there. We don't have any house now.
But are you hiding from the police or are you just looking for somewhere to live?
Actually, police also used to raid our houses.
But are you in hiding at the moment? Are you living underground?
Practically we are underground.
Well, your home or not, Asiya Andrabi, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us.
Okay, thank you very much.